All right, I just understand it. Like I said, they try to dismiss you, but without creating any scene, which is okay. I understand, but which is not okay on my side. Yeah, which is 안녕하세요. 저는 사미입니다. 한국말 조금 알아요. Or the best thing to do is if you have a Korean girlfriend, you guys can go together to.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am with Haha Sammy, and we are going to be talking about his experience in South Korea. So recently I made a video talking about my honest review being black in South Korea. There were some people who had some comments or some questions in the comment section, and they said, hey, there's someone saying, hey, you're wrong, I got a PhD, blah, 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 all this type of stuff. So I said, let me get someone else who's more experienced in this area and have them speak on their perspective. So, Sammy, how was your overall experience when you came to South Korea?
It was okay. Just depending on like what specific you're asking about the experience I had in Korea, like in what aspect?
Yeah, definitely. So, what I would like to talk about first is when you arrived there, how were you treated by the locals as far as...
It's terrific.
Yeah. It just does that after like a minute or something. But good looking. But yeah, how were you treated by the locals when you first arrived as far as you being someone who's not originally from South Korea?
I mean, when I first arrived, it was lovely. It was like cool. Like everything to me was an experience which I've never had before. Like the aspect of people maybe staring at you, or people don't want to sit close to you on the subway. It was kind of like something that I experienced for the very first time. But for me, it was it was okay. And then as time goes by, I started feeling like, oh, something's wrong, something's not right. But from the very first start, I didn't actually see that to be anything for me, because like everything I was experiencing was kind of like the first time. But when you start having that ongoing process and things happening, then you start asking yourself like, what is that happening? But overall, my first experience was good. And then, but when I started seeing those things repeatedly again, I started asking questions like, oh, what's going on? And then I just discovered that maybe some people just don't want to sit close to you, or the culture is just somehow different. People just like love a little bit of private space, or people just don't want to sit close to you because you're a foreigner, or it's just people just have. And I start to understand that it's more about the people, the person, than the people. Yeah. So it was an individual reason, because like at the end of the day, it wasn't everyone that didn't want to sit close to me. I could, sometimes I get like older person sit next to me. Sometimes even the younger people don't want to sit next to me. It's not just me, but I've seen that other people like talk about it on the internet like that. So it's become like something that we just get used to it and just understand it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great that you made that adaptation. It's funny you mentioned the subway situation, because I remember someone telling me before I went there, like, hey, they're not going to want to sit next to you in the subway. And I was thinking at the time, like, okay, that's cool. That means I got extra room. I can spread out when I'm sitting there.
I would say mainly every foreigner that visited Korea has probably like experienced that. If they like visited and stayed in Korea for like a few months, they will probably experience something like that. So it shouldn't be like a people's problem. It should be like mostly like the problem that the person has. Like it's about individual thing. Like it's just a private decision. For me too, I started doing that too when I lived like a very long time. I started like seeing sometimes I just don't like someone sit here and then someone sit here, and then there's like a seat in the middle of like two Korean. I'm like, nah, I'd rather just stand. Or sometimes someone sit next to me and I just don't like the way they doing. Probably they make or doing some things like that.
Yeah.
I just kind of like, nah, I'd rather just stand. So yeah, things like that. Yeah, it could be a lot of reasons. So, like I said, mostly personal things, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Now you mentioned foreigners. Would you say that it's only foreigners from certain areas that experience this, or would you say foreigners in general have a similar experience in South Korea?
Yeah, that's a very good question. But to be honest, I would say like not sitting close to you on the subway is something that I would say all foreigners, any foreigner can experience. As a foreigner, yeah, you're definitely gonna probably have one or two person. But overall, is basically I would say it could be because of the looks, like how you dress, how you look, and because how you dress, people tend to like can tell how you smell. Because if you dress good, people can see from afar that he dressed good. That means he smells good.
That's
But
good.
if you just dress like so normal, they're like, oh, then probably he smells bad, which could just give them that impression of like, okay, I don't want to go close to that person. So I would say like, yeah, as a foreigner in general, going to Korea, you have to like dress good. Don't look like someone that's begging. You should look like someone that already has something. And if they feel that vibe about you, then they feel really comfortable to sit next to you or maybe to talk to you, or they start being curious about you, like how are you living a good life, how are you being so gentle, how are you being so happy.
Yeah, that's right. Look like you have something if you're going to go somewhere. I definitely agree with that. Now, off camera, we talked about a gym scenario. I talked about how originally it took me like 3 or 4 times to sign up for a gym membership because I kept going to gyms and they would tell me like, no, do the X's with the hands. There was one time in particular, I'm trying to sign up for a gym. It's underground, which I thought was kind of strange at first, but I was like, okay, whatever. I go to it. Interesting thing about the gym is to the right, it's like glass and you can see through it. So I'm walking through the hallway, but I'm also looking at the gym and I see people working out. I was like, okay, this seems cool. I go to the front desk. No one's there originally, wait maybe a minute or two, whatever. Someone eventually comes around and I'm like, hey, I want to sign up for a gym membership. I try to explain my situation or whatever. They're like, no men. We don't accept men at the gym. It's women only. I'm like, oh, okay.
You don't accept men?
That's what he said.
But you saw a man working out in the gym. Oh, okay.
At that walking there originally, I did. So I did see women, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So I left. But as I'm leaving this time, I'm looking back on the same glass because now it's on the opposite side, and I see men working out. So it made me think like, oh, that's weird. He said no men, but I see men working out. But I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to fight it. Maybe it's something going on. I'm not going to go where I'm not accepted. I tried 2 more gyms. They come up with different excuses pretty much to say no. And then I finally get a gym next to my school, which was like an international school. So I think that kind of helped in that aspect. But could you talk about your particular scenario? What are your thoughts on that?
So in Korea, this is something they want to dismiss you, but they don't want to have a bad impression dismissing you. So they just want to keep everything on a good note, like, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, cool. Okay, bye-bye. See you next time. But eventually, that's a goodbye. Never gonna see you again. I don't want to see your face and stuff like that. Yeah, that's how it means. But so that's why they want to dismiss you, but they don't want to make it a scene or have any bad impression about that. So basically what that guy was saying to you is it's not about you, okay? It's just that when we accept you, the people gonna complain and we're gonna lose like 10 Koreans or maybe 4 or 5 Koreans. That's bad business for us.
Oh, so they'll lose Koreans if
Exactly.
Wow.
That was the whole point, because some Koreans probably just gonna say, oh, I don't like the guy, he working out, he smells a little bit bad, I don't like it. Or the guy, he works out, he's probably not organizing stuff, or he's always jumping from one place to another, or he's like looking at me sexually or something like that. So they just try to like avoid that kind of situation. So that's the reason why they say so. I mean, it's just a business. That was a business move, I would say, to be honest. It wasn't kind of like a personal thing. It was a business move that not trying to like lose clients and stuff like that. But I've had couple of experiences in Korea where you go to the gym and they don't want to sign me up. And I was like, they kind of like told me similar stuff like, because your credit card is this and because your visa type is this.
Wow.
We only accept credit card. You only can do it. So just some kind of like stuff, and I was like, okay, all right. I just understand it. Like I said, they try to dismiss you, but without creating any scene, which is okay. I understand, but which is not okay on my side. Yeah, which is not okay. So I would say, to be honest, they just doing a business move. Yeah, it's just business move. But whereas if you go to an expensive restaurant, like in Abidjan, you would go eat, or you go expensive wine place. No matter how many expensive Korean people go to that place, as long as you have money to buy a table, buy a bottle, they're gonna let you in. So you see the difference. At the gym, it's a cheaper place, and then they need a lot of people to make a lot of money. But meanwhile, in those expensive places, they just need one person to make money for 10 people.
Wow.
So at the gym, you don't represent 10 people, you represent one person. Meanwhile, they choose 10 Koreans or 10 other people over foreigners. Even you guys come like 10 of you guys, 10 foreigners, that's going to be a bigger problem to them, because like 10 foreigners can make them lose customers like maybe 100 Koreans. So it's just a business move, like I would say, to be honest, just a business move, because sometimes like you're not even gonna know what happened. Probably someone can just report you for, this guy, he is in the bathroom, he didn't put the towels in the right position, or he doesn't take a shower before coming to the gym, like just for no reason, and do your own stuff. So it's like that. Or maybe someone just quit, and then the gym wants to like follow up and like ask them like, why did she quit? And they're like, I quit, and then they didn't say it was because of you. The gym started thinking, if this person's not feeling comfortable, then there should be one thing that's not going right here, and you are the only foreigner. So sometimes you just get unlucky, and then everything started bouncing back at you, which is not really the case. So like I said, to be honest, it's a business move.
Yeah,
I would do the same if I was in their position.
Yeah, I was gonna say, once you broke it down like that, it's like that actually makes sense.
But then if you go to Abidjan, as long as you're able to buy a table, they don't. Of course, you see the difference. They're gonna let you in. They're gonna let you in. That is the difference right there. Yeah.
That's a big difference, man.
So you can afford luxury in Korea. No matter where you are, like luxury is okay, you can afford it. But when it comes like just normal things, you really can't. Yeah.
How would you advise people to navigate South Korea if they're a foreigner and they're dealing with certain issues like that?
Oh, for the gym thing, just walk away, just go to another gym. that's the only thing I would say. Or the best thing to do is, if you have a Korean girlfriend, you guys can go together to sign up for the gym. Sometimes if they say Korean girlfriend or Korean person, they're probably gonna let you in, but then like I said, the problem's gonna rise up. Like people gonna complain maybe later on, like some certain things, or people are just like, change the gym, and the gym started like maybe they started doing research or survey, like, so why did you quit, and they kind of like, I don't feel comfortable. So just if 2 people quit, they're probably gonna tell you that sorry, our manager, we get some complaints about you. They're not gonna tell you, they're just gonna, we got some complaints about you, and so sorry, that's it. And that's something that happened for like English teaching jobs. When parents complain about you, the teacher not being nice or not being this, the school definitely gonna fire you. Yeah, so that's just like I said again, business move. So it's either you go with a Korean girl, a Korean guy, or a Korean friend. That's gonna increase your chances of getting accepted to the gym. But then remember, along the line, they probably might let you go because of some reports. So the best thing I would say is, if you try alone, it doesn't work, just go to another gym. Just look another one close to you, or maybe a little bit far away from you. If you can't find those things, then just change your location. Yeah, that's the only solution right there. Even if you speak Korean, it doesn't matter.
Anasio. Anasio.
안녕하세요.
Yeah. So for the people who were like wondering about the experience of our speaking Korean and person not speaking Korean, do you mind saying something in Korean to them?
Oh, 안녕하세요. 저는 사미입니다. 한국말 조금 알아요. 한국말 어떻게 배워서 그냥 학교 거기서 안 배웠어. 그냥 한국에 살고 있어서 친구들이랑 만나서 약간 여자친구도 그리고 한국말 진짜 많이 배웠어. 왜냐면 여자친구가 영어 잘 못해서 우리가 얘기하고 한국말 많이 얘기했어. 제가 많이 들었어. 그래서 한국어 배웠어. 그래서 지금 한국말 말해서 약간 그 정도 괜찮아? 상관없어. 지금 한국 사람들이랑 만나면 한국말 말할 수 있어. 많이 잘해 없어. 그냥 그 정도 나 괜찮아.
See, he speaks full Korean. Because I know someone's gonna be in the comment section like, man, what's going on? Blah blah blah. And there's a guy earlier in my other video talking about, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I got a PhD. They treat me well, whatever. Do you feel like education is can be a determining factor as far as the treatment for foreigners over there?
Oh, the way they treat you in Korea?
Yeah.
As a foreigner in Korea, yeah, the first impression matters. Where you from, and what's your job is the killer feature. What is your job? Like, what do you do for a living? That's the most important thing about Korea. It doesn't even matter where you come from. You could be from America, you could be from Europe, you could be from Africa. But what do you do for a living is really what matters. And where do you live, and if you have a car. So they have a way of knowing how much you make per month or how much you make a month just by knowing these things. And I do too. And I can, if I just say, oh wow, where do you live? Oh, you live in like Gyeonggi-do. Oh no, so I'm already start saying that you're only about maybe about 1,500 a month. Yeah. But if you live in Seoul, I started thinking you're probably earning like 2,000. Okay, where in Seoul do you live? All those things I'm trying to know your income.
Yeah.
And the moment I know that you have a car, oh wow, you have a car and then you live in Seoul. Can I ask what car you drive? So it's all about knowing your income. So if you drive a fancy car, they don't even want you don't have to tell them twice. They're like, wow, it's good. Yeah. And then that way they find you attractive. Like some checkbox, I don't know, check boxes. You have to like just What was your question then?
No, that answered that. It was pretty good, man. I appreciate that. The last thing I wanted to cover though is what part of South Korea did you live in?
Oh, when I first got to Korea, I live in like 6 places in Korea. I live in Gyeonggi-do. I live in also like Upper Seoul, and then finally I live in Seoul. So recently I live in Shilim. So the reason why I choose Shilim, and I would definitely recommend Shilim to anyone that wants to live in Seoul, because like I said, it's a budget friendly place. It's pretty between like 25 minutes from Shilim to Hongdae, 25 minutes from Shilim to Itaewon, from Shilim to Gangnam. So it's like in the middle of those 3 places, which is those are the places that I go to whenever I want to hang out. But I'm always in Hongdae mostly, usually. Yeah, so that's I lived in Shilim for about a few years, which I really loved it. And if I would live again and choose a place to live again in Korea, it's definitely gonna be Shilim. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Unless like I have like a good budget, and then I would just stay in Hongdae. Hongdae is pretty, it's a high budget place.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate your time, man, and thank you for the interview.
I hope for those watching, you guys have a good time, you know. Yeah. If you guys ever know me, good. If you guys don't know me, haha, Sami. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, where can they find you on social media?
Well, also I just look for the guy that does street interviews in Korea, or just search Korean girls. Yeah, that's crazy, but yeah, that's the truth. Just search Korean girls. You're definitely gonna see me.
Yeah, it should pop right up.
Yeah.
Y'all have an amazing day.
Yeah.